perspective and losing all control. The buildings are a blur, just a static in the view. A horizontal hazard coming straight for you. I'm cutting through the atoms, I'm cutting through the time, committing every digital and high velocity crime. Laser line vision burning in the eye, watching all the pixels of the city start to die. Ignite the final sector, let the power start to flow. Watch the entire universe begin to melt and glow. Laser line lunacy, tearing up the track. Once I hit the trigger, there is no turning back. A symphony of photons, a symphony of speed, fulfilling every animal and every human need. Laser line lunacy, shatter the divide with the entire galaxy standing by my side. The friction is a memory, the gravity is gone. I'm a ghost of the current and I'm keeping it on. The interceptors scatter like the shadows in the glare. They can't find a target when the target isn't there. I'm a pulse of pure energy, a bullet in the wire, setting all the logic of the system on the fire. The red line is a liar, I can push it even more, kicking down the hinges of the interstellar door. Track the beam, feel the scream, the ultimate reality, the ultimate dream, maximum precision. Laser line lunacy, tearing up the track. Once I hit the trigger, there is no turning back. A symphony of photons, a symphony of speed, fulfilling every animal and every human need. Laser line lunacy, shatter the divide with the entire galaxy standing by my side. Target reached. Laser closer, the lights are getting dim. I'm riding on the edge of the stratosphere rim. No oxygen to breathe in, just the nitro and the spark. I'm a horizontal comet in the middle of the dark. The hull is glowing orange, a beautiful decay. I'm washing all the sorrow and the gravity away. A sonic boom is echoing across the plastic dome. I finally found a place that I can call a home. Faster, master the burn. No retreat, no return. Break the limit. Ozone overrun, breaking the sky. Watching the world in a blur as I fly. Ignite the afterburner, let the fire roar. I'm taking this machine where I've never been before. Ozone overrun, a bullet of the flame, burning in the atmosphere, a legendary name. Living the world, reaching the a chassis made of shadows, a heart made of light, a horizontal ghost in the middle of the night. No friction on the rubber, no friction on the soul. Losing the direction and losing all control. I drift through the buildings, I glide across the glass, watching all the atoms of the universe pass. I'm a digital anomaly, a streak of violet blue, the fastest operation that the district ever knew. Shift into the warp drive, let the plasma structure arc, lighting up the center of the cybernetic dark. I'm reaching for the distance, I'm reaching for the sun, the greatest of the races that was ever being run. Photon phantom, dancing on the edge, writing down the history on a silver ledge. A symphony of photons, a symphony of speed, fulfilling every animal and every human need. Photon phantom, shatter the divide with the entire galaxy standing by my side. The phantom drives on. Photon. is fully complete. We turn the equator into a racing street. A billion miles of a polished metallic track, with the fire of the sun shining hard on my back. I'm piloting a vehicle of stellar design, crossing the galaxy, walking the line. The solar flares licking the edge of the glass. I'm hitting the thrusters to make the final pass. The gravity plating is keeping me down. The absolute king of the universe town. Dyson Sphere Derby, racing the sun. The greatest marathon that was ever begun. A ribbon of speed wrapped around the bright core. A million competitors asking for more. Dyson Sphere Derby, blinding the eye. We're leaving a tire mark over the sky. The syndicate ships are deploying the shields. We're navigating through the magnetic field. To crash at this velocity turns you to light. A permanent flash in the endless of night. I ride on the slipstream of a solar storm. My chassis is melting, incredibly warm. But I see the finish line, a planetary gate. I'm pushing the destiny, pushing the fate. The solar flares licking the edge of the glass. I'm hitting the thrusters to make the final pass. The gravity plating is keeping me down. The absolute king of the universe town. Dyson Sphere Derby, racing the sun. The greatest marathon that was ever begun. center of the wheel. No more the human weakness, no more the human bone, built of reinforced titanium and a spirit of our own. The cooling fans are singing a Gregorian chant, giving every racer the power that they want. Kneel before the motor, kneel before the light, in the holy cathedral of the endless night. The binary scriptures are written on the wall, watching every empire of the old world fall. The circuit's cathedral, where the machines pray, washing all the vanity of the world away. A monument of motion, a monument of fire, the ultimate conclusion of the electric desire. The circuit cathedral, the spirit of the pure. Speed is the religion, and the speed is the cure. The stained glass is a monitor, glowing blue and green, the most beautiful religion that the world has ever seen. We offer up our memories, we offer up our names, to fuel the perfection of the electronic games. A sacrament of pistons, a sacrament of gear, drowning out the silence and the corporate fear. We are the congregation, the knights of the array, bathed in the glory of an everlasting day. Bless the spark, bless the dark, the holy machine has left its ritual complete. The road is blessed. I'm riding on the stream, the deadliest inhabitant of a digital dream. I drift across the firewalls, I slide across the code, a horizontal hazard on an invisible road. The radar starts to flicker when I roll into the view on my horizon. pass me by. The atmosphere is electric, the air is getting thin. The only kind of battle that I'm ever gonna win. I hit the silver button, I feel the system surge, waiting for the spirit and the machinery to merge. My vision is a rainbow, my vision is a flare. Smell of the excitement in the midnight air. Overload the sensors, let the plasma start to flow, watching as the energy begins to melt and glow. I'm a horizontal rocket, I'm a bullet in the wire, fulfilling the prophecy of the electric desire. Electric Zenith, reaching for the top. Once I hit the limit, I am never gonna stop. A symphony of photons, a symphony of speed, fulfilling every animal and every human need. Electric Zenith, shatter the divide, with the entire galaxy standing by my side. Hold the peak, feel the heat, the electric rhythm, the electric beat, maximum power. Zenith reached. Light remains electric. Cutting through the cables, cutting through the code. A horizontal virus on a high-speed road. The firewalls are failing, the servers are hot. Giving the syndicate everything I got. One hand on the steering, one hand on the key. Setting every captive frequency free. The towers are flickering, the towers are dim. Floating on the edge of the planetary rim. Overload the station, let the sparks start to arc, lighting up the center of the cybernetic dark. The grid is a prison and I am the flare, a technological rebellion in the air. Circuit breaker, tearing up the grid, revealing every secret that the masters hid. A short circuit anthem, a short circuit drive, the only way for the data to stay alive. Circuit breaker, shatter the control, taking back the logic and taking back the soul. The interceptors glitch as I roll through the gate. A master of the optics and a master of fate. I'm washing out the signal, I'm washing out the trace, winning every second in the electronic race. The neon is bleeding, a shade of the green, the most violent disruption that the district's ever seen. I hit the final toggle, I let the system blow into the black oblivion. I go, go, go. mercy. The ghost of the highway, wild and free. I don't need the mercy, I don't need the rest. Just a heavy vibration in the center of the chest. Hear the pistons chanting a violent refrain, washing out the logic and the corporate pain. I drop the heavy helm, I kick it into gear. I am the only monster that the city has to fear. Midnight marauder, tearing up the grid. Proud of every dangerous thing that I ever did. A nightmare made of carbon, a nightmare made of style. Running like a predator for mile after mile. Midnight marauder, the spirit of the pure. Speed is the addiction and the speed is the cure. No place to hide, no place to run. The hunt for the future has only just begun. Lock the target, 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 target. Target acquired. Vanishing in the smoke. Marauder. The floor is made of sensors and the walls are made of light. Two shadows in the center are preparing for the fight. A duel of the honor in a city with no soul. Losing the perspective and losing the control. I draw the laser katana, a flicker of the green. The deadliest execution that the dojo's ever seen. You move like a phantom, you move like a ghost. But I am the invader and I am the perfect host. Focus on the breathing, focus on the spark. Finding the trajectory inside the cyber dark. One strike for the glory, one strike for the pain. Dancing in the middle of the holographic rain. Cyber dojo duel, steel against the wire. Burning up the system with the cold and blue fire. We are the modern rodent, we are the knights of speed. Fulfilling the violent and the ancient human need. Cyber dojo duel. Sharpen up the mind. Leaving all the mercy and the weakness far behind. I read your every movement through the optics of my eye. Calculating angles as the minutes fly on by. The sparks are flying off like a rain of neon gold. The story of the vengeance that is centuries old. I sweep across the floorboard, I aim for the core. Giving you a lesson that you can't find in the law. The digital tectomy is stained with silver blood. As we fall together through the binary flood. Focus on the breathing, focus on the spark. Finding the trajectory inside the cyber dark. One strike for the glory, one strike for the pain. Dancing in the middle of the holographic rain. Cyber dojo duel, steel against the wire. Burning up the system with the cold and blue fire. We are the modern rodent, we are the knights of speed. Fulfilling the violent and the ancient human need. Cyber dojo duel. Sharpen up the mind. Leaving all the The sirens are crying a couple blocks back. They're looking for a vehicle painted in black. I press on the console, engage the design. The optical armor begins to align. The molecules shift in a beautiful wave, a technical marvel that nobody gave. The black turns to crimson, the crimson to blue. I'm driving the ghost right in front of their view. Active camo blending in the street, matching every color, matching every beat. They fly right beside me, completely blind. I'm leaving the law enforcement behind. Chrome chameleon, shifting the shade, the greatest illusion that I ever made. I hide in the neon, I hide in the glare. You look in the mirror, but nobody's there. Chrome chameleon, changing the skin. That's how a professional knows how to win. I pull to the curb underneath the street light and perfectly match with the yellow and white. The helicopter spotlight is sweeping the ground, checking the alleys, but I can't be found. I roll down the window, I light a cigar and smile at the panic, police in the car. It's an art of deception, an elegant dance. I never leave anything up to the chance. Active camo blending in the street, matching every color, matching every beat. They fly right beside me, completely blind. I'm leaving the law enforcement behind. Chrome chameleon, shifting the shade, the greatest illusion that I ever made. I hide in the neon, I hide in the glare. You look in the mirror, but nobody's there. fast on the humid street. The radar screams, but I kill the sound. Ain't gonna let them pin me down. Just a renegade in a synthwave haze, lost forever in the outrun maze. Shadows dancing on the dashboard light. I'm pushing limits in the dead of night. No turning back when the pedal's down. I am the ghost of this neon town. Caught in these vice city illusions, running blind through the dark confusions. 100 miles on a dead-end street. Feel the rhythm of the city's heartbeat. Chrome and wire, a digital dream. Nothing is ever quite what it seems in Vice City. Yeah, the illusion scheme. Flashbacks hit like a bullet to the chest. No time for love, no time to rest. The skyline cracks as the night divides. I'm riding shotgun with my foolish pride. Caught in these vice city illusions, running blind through the dark confusions. 100 miles on a dead-end street. Feel the rhythm of the city's heartbeat. Chrome and wire, a digital dream. Nothing is ever quite what it seems in Vice City. Yeah, the illusion scheme. Fading out in the rear view glass. Just an illusion, moving too fast. Vice City. Vice City.
Step into the madness, step into the glare. There's a smell of ozone and candy in the air. Holographic clowns are dancing in the street, moving to the rhythm of a frantic circus beat. Spin the wheel of fortune, bet your credits on the race. In the most colorful and terrifying place. The popcorn is synthetic, the prizes are all gold. The greatest show of neon that was ever being sold. Watch the acrobats on the high voltage wire, setting all the boredom and the gravity on fire. The roller coaster screaming through the center of the dome. For the crazy and the restless, this is finally a home. Cybernetic carnival lighting up the brain, washing all the sorrow in a neon-colored rain. Carousel of metal, a Ferris wheel of light, spinning in the center of the psychedelic night. Cybernetic carnival, don't you ever stop, taking every feeling to the very, very top. I'm drifting round the tent with a smile on my face, the fastest little pony in the intergalactic space. Laughter in the speakers, music in the tires, playing with the electricity and playing with the wires. The fun is never ending in the middle of the static, a temporary escape that is purely automatic. We're the freaks of the future, the kings of the show. Watch the entire galaxy begin to melt and glow. Up and down, round and round, the happiest place.
world is gloating, a violet flare. Smell of the nostalgia in the midnight air. I know where I'm going, I know what I need to follow the rhythm, follow the speed. No more the shadows, no more the lights under the orbit of the artificial skies. The road is a promise, the road is a vow. There is no tomorrow, there's only the now. Eternal embrace, written in the chrome. Finding the way to a spiritual home. A journey of heartbeats, a journey of light. Under the canopy of the infinite night. Eternal embrace, the soul of a drive. The only way for us to feel truly alive. City is fading, a flicker of gold. The greatest of stories that was ever being told. My engine is chanting a sacred refrain, washing away all the sorrow and pain. The transmission is locked, the verdict is pure. Speed is the sickness and the speed is the cure. I merge with the sunset, I merge with the haze, finding the end of the mechanical maze.
to sleep.
The heat barrier into the corona. Burn on. Titanium and the spirit made of lead, moving through the sectors where the corporate fear is spread. I don't need the elegance, I don't need the slick. I'm a heavy duty hammer and I'm hitting you quick. The bumper is a weapon, the tires are a war, pushing down the hinges of the mega city door. Horizontal fortress, a horizontal beast, coming to the city for a high velocity feast. Hear the cylinders chanting a violent roar, fists, the only thing that's real in the holographic mist. Smash the gate, smash the pride. Nowhere left for the cowards to hide. Ramming speed, barricade destroyed. The Titan remains. Turnpike. Swinging from the iron beam, I'm driving right through the middle of the dream. The smell of the noodles and the heavy spice, a crowded, beautiful neon paradise. I swerve around a robot selling the fish, everything you want and everything you wish. The interceptors are right on my tail, smashing through the boxes of the bargain sale. Left through the noodles, right through the silk, dodge the merchant selling synthetic milk. The crowd is a river of 100 dyes, everything's a blur in my cybernetic eyes. Neon night market, a colorful race, 100 different cultures in a single space. Drifting past the stalls and the flickering signs, crossing over all of the boundary lines. Neon night market, catching the heat. The heart of the city is on the street. Holographic dragons dancing in the air, I'm taking the corner with the reckless flare. Watch the porcelain shadow, watch the fabrics fly. I'm a horizontal rocket under the sky. The vendors are cursing, the children are in awe. I'm the fastest thing that the market ever saw. I jump the stairs of the temple of gold, the greatest escape that was ever being told. Through the smoke, through the crowd, turn it up, make it loud. Market cleared, losing the tail. Good night, Chinatown. Market cleared. They set up the blockade on the suspension bridge, from the neon toll booth to the artificial ridge. A dozen black sedans with the windows tinted deep. The lords of the underworld are playing for the keep. I've got the stolen blueprints sitting on my lap. I'm not about to die inside a mediocre trap. I punch the nitrous oxide, I grip the steering tight. I'm gonna show the syndicate how a ghost can fight. The laser fire reflects upon my mirrored aviator.
strips glowing on the road. I calculate the physics of my heavy payload. A flick of the hydraulics, the chassis jumps the wire. A mechanical ballerina dancing in the fire. A helicopter drops a heavy net from the sky. Swerve into the opposite and watch it flutter by. The edge of the metropolis is coming into view. I'm breaking the monopoly and starting something new. Laser fire reflects upon my mirrored aviators. I'm dodging all the bullets of the cyber dictators. Drop it to the floorboard, pushing out the red. I'm gonna leave the bosses wishing they were dead. Neon cartel running down the line. I'm taking all your secrets, making everything mine. Smashing through the barricade, flying in the air. I'm the only rebel who was ever gonna dare. Neon cartel eating up my dust. A high velocity escape in the vehicle I trust. No surrender, no retreat. I am the master of the street. Catch this! Neon cartel running down the line. I'm taking all your secrets, making everything mine. Smashing through the barricade, flying in the air. I'm the only rebel who was ever gonna dare. Neon cartel eating up my dust. A high velocity escape in the vehicle I trust. Bridge cleared, shattering the glass. Cartel defeated.
The cape is made of shadows, the mask is made of light. A silent guardian in the middle of the night. No badge upon the chest, just the spirit and the soul. Taking the direction and taking the control.
He's racing through the sectors, a ghost inside the grid. Proud of every dangerous thing the ancestors did. The city's calling out for a savior in the chrome. Fighting in the distance, a temporary home.
The signals in the sky, a violet glow.
Watching as the energy begins to melt and go.
He's the only answer.
He's the only spark.
Riding like a lightning through the cybernetic dark.
Neon night hero, saving every dream. Riding on the ripples of a light-powered stream. A symphony of honor,
A symphony of speed.
fulfilling every animal and every human need. Neon night hero.
The master of the track.
And once he hits the trigger, there is no looking
The villains in the towers are shaking with the fear, because they know the legend is finally
He
here.
drifts around the borders, he shatters every gate, taking back the city from the hands of the fate. A horizontal justice, a horizontal flame. Nothing in the history will ever be the same. Stand and fight.
feel truly alive. The interceptor's tailing, but they're miles far behind, looking for a ghost that they are never gonna find. I dive between the buildings, I disappear in mist, with a heavy metal weapon wrapped around my wrist. The data's downloading a river of the pure. Speed is the addiction and the speed is the cure. I vanish in the static, I vanish in the light. A masterpiece of robbery in the middle of the night. Hack the bridge, break the wall. The Empire's data is gonna start to fall. Pirate Drive. Loot secured, connection severed, pirate out.
The artificial sun is dipping low behind the glass. A golden hour glowing on the synthetic grass. I roll the vehicle out onto the empty starting line. The architecture is reflecting a beautiful design. The sky is turning orange, turning violet and red. The final preparation for the journey up ahead. I calibrate the systems, I check the heavy fuel. I'm ready for the ultimate, the legendary duel. The engine warms its vocal cords, a deep and heavy hum, awaiting the arrival of the cybernetic drum. The strings are swelling up, we're lifting off the ground. The city is anticipating the monumental sound. Synthetic sunset symphony playing in the air. The majesty of metal, the beauty of the dare. The orchestra of neon is tuning up the strings, preparing for the glory.
of orange dust, and it's completely mine. Six-wheel drive engaging heavy treads upon the tire, spitting out the gravel, it's spitting out the fire. Storm of radiation blowing heavy from the east. I drop the dirty goggles and awaken up the beast. The suspension takes a beating, launching off the dune underneath the eerie glow of a broken double moon. No asphalt to guide me, no painted yellow line, just the compass in the dash and the instinct in my spine. A scavenger of speed in a world without a rule, running on adrenaline and synthetic fuel. Cyber dune drifter, tearing up the sand, a mechanical nomad in a devastated land, kicking up a dust cloud, blocking out the sky. If you stop the vehicle, you're surely gonna die. Cyber dune drifter, a monster in the wild, the apocalypse's favorite and most destructive child. The raiders try to flank me in their rusted out machines, with harpoons and the lasers painting up the scenes. I hit the lateral thrusters, sliding down the hill, an avalanche of gravel moving in for the kill. I hear their engines choking on the heavy yellow dirt. I leave them in the cradle with a whole lot of hurt. I'm a king without a castle, a ghost without a name, playing by my own rules in this radioactive game. No asphalt to guide me, no painted yellow line, just the compass in the dash and the instinct in my spine. A scavenger of speed in a world without a rule, running on adrenaline and synthetic fuel. Cyber dune drifter, tearing up the sand, a mechanical nomad in a devastated land, kicking up a dust cloud, blocking out the sky. If you stop the vehicle, you're surely gonna die. Cyber dune drifter, a monster in the wild, the apocalypse's favorite and most destructive child. Shift the sand, ride the storm, where the outlaws are the norm. Beat my dust. Cyber dune drifter, tearing up the sand, a mechanical nomad in a devastated land, kicking up a dust cloud, blocking out the sky. If you stop the vehicle, you're surely gonna die. Cyber dune drifter, a monster in the wild, the apocalypse's favorite and most destructive child. Into the storm, lost in the dunes, drifter out.
to fall. Maximum output achieved. Beyond the limit. Apex. Silence of the fear, the asphalt is a melting, the rubber is all gone. I'm holding on the trigger and I'm keeping it on. Blue flame burnout, screaming in the core. Give me all the fire and then give me some more. I'm a bullet of the metal, a streak inside the night, shattering the limits of the humankind of sight. Blue flame burnout, tearing up the soul, losing all the gravity and losing all control. Interceptors scatter like the insects in the glare. They can't find a target when there's nothing really there. I'm a horizontal hazard, I'm a horizontal flash, heading for the future in a beautiful crash. My vision is a rainbow, my vision is a blur, where the animalistic instincts all begin to occur. I am the final signal, I am the final spark, riding like a demon through the cybernetic dark. Ignite the thrusters! Embrace the heat! The blue fire rhythm! The blue fire beat! Maximum overdrive! Critical thrust! Vaporize reality! Burn out! The throne is made of chrome. The entire universe is finally our home.
We've mastered every frequency. We've mastered every ear, drowning out the silence and the suffocating fear.
The grid is a cathedral, the grid is our soul, taking the direction and taking the control. A billion processors are chanting out our name. Nothing in the history will ever be the same.
The energy is rising, a river of the gold, the greatest of the legends that was ever being told.
Kneel at the altar of the motor and the light in the holy sanctuary of the I've seen it all before. The same old neon sign above the liquor store.
The odometer is spinning, returning back to zero. The same old tragedy and the same old hero. I'm shifting into gear, but the road remains the same. A permanent inhabitant of a never-ending game. I see my own taillights a mile or two ahead, following the ghost of the words that I once said.
terrifying ride. The dashboard starts to flicker, a sudden pulse of green, the most beautiful revival that the underground has seen. I turn the heavy key, the cylinders begin to choke, and then it roars to life in a cloud of holy smoke. The beast is finally breathing, hungry for the street, a mechanical zombie that nobody can defeat. Oil is the blood, the battery is the heart. I'm pulling you together from a world torn apart, wiping off the ashes, polishing the chrome. I am the necromancer, bringing the monster home. Rise from the scrap, you neon necromancer. To every prayer of speed, you are the violent answer. Awaken from the slumber, electrical and deep. We have a bloody promise that we gotta keep. Neon necromancer, screaming from the grave. You are the cyber demon that I couldn't help but say. It lives, it breathes, the dead will drive. Resurrection complete! Rise from the scrap, you neon necromancer. To every prayer of speed, you are the violent answer. Awaken from the slumber, electrical and deep. We have a bloody promise that we gotta keep. Neon necromancer, screaming from the grave. You are the cyber demon that I couldn't help but say. Out of the graveyard, onto the grid. The dead are driving.
The moon is my guide, we're nowhere
muscle burning up the modern grid. I'm the greatest thief the city ever hit. Cyber heist getaway, ripping up the town. I'm wearing all the money like a neon crown. The interceptor's crashing in my rearview glass. They simply do not have the horsepower to pass. Cyber heist getaway, catch me if you dare. I'm throwing digital illusions in the air. They set a barricade on Highway 64. I guess they didn't read the legend of my lore. I hit the ramp of concrete, launching to the sky. A chrome torpedo flying right before their eye. I land upon the suspension of the lower deck and leave the police cruisers in a massive wreck. The payload is secure, the engine's running hot. I'm taking everything the megacorps have got. The sirens is a wailing, lighting up the rear. I kick it into overdrive, I have no fear. A V8 muscle burning up the modern grid. I'm the greatest thief the city ever hit. Cyber heist getaway, ripping up the town. I'm wearing all the money like a neon crown. The interceptor's crashing in my rearview glass. They simply do not have the horsepower to pass. Cyber heist getaway, catch me if you dare. I'm throwing digital illusions in the air. Left, right, high through the gap. I'm erasing off the map. Credits in the bank, money in the tank. See ya never. Cyber heist getaway, ripping up the town. I'm wearing all the money like a neon crown. The interceptor's crashing in my rearview glass. They simply do not have the horsepower to pass. Cyber heist getaway, catch me if you dare. I'm throwing digital illusions in the air.